Hi everyone, it's Jen Rowley. I am recording my first video log ever from the lobby of the Sotile Theater in Charleston, South Carolina on King Street, home of the Spoleto Festival. As you can see, I'm not myself. I am in my wig and makeup for Mese Mariano, which we do our first piano dress rehearsal for this evening on stage. But while I was here in the theater, I wanted to give you guys some answers to some questions that were posted on my Twitter this week during our question and answer session. Thank you all so much for being a part of it. There were some great questions, and I've picked 3 or 4 that I wanted to expand on. So we're going to start with one from Mr. Peter Cullen, Pierre Cullen on Twitter. Let me just make sure I have that right. Sorry, Pierre Cullen 5, just in case you guys want to follow. He asked, which singers, dead or alive, do you most admire? And I loved this question, specifically because I love Maria Callas. Whenever I am looking at a new role, the very first singer I go to is Maria Callas. She wasn't always the best vocally. She wasn't always as stable as, you would want her to be. However, she was the best actress. She was always so connected to her characters. In particular, I love her Violetta. I love the recording where she jumps onto the piano and she kicks off her shoes and she throws champagne glasses. She's just so full of joy in the Act 1 aria. And everything she does, really, she was so committed. You can hear it sometimes to her detriment in the voice, but Maria Callas she's my go-to. Renata Scotto, you cannot go wrong with Miss Scotto. She is another one that I love. Tebaldi, Freni, especially for the Italian ladies, especially for Bohème, especially for Verdi. The Italian ladies, they are the ladies to go to. Now, living singers, I am infatuated with Sandra Rovanovsky's voice. I think she sings with the most plummy, rich, beautiful sound, and she does all of the big Verdi ladies that I would love to do, and she's just fantastic. Renee Fleming, of course, she's the queen. Nobody can touch Renee. And there are just so many. There are some great singers. I had the really wonderful pleasure of covering Krassimira Stoyanova this spring in the Met's Otello with Jose Cura and Thomas Hampson, and I'm telling you, that voice is spectacular, and she's a lovely lady to boot. So helpful, so kind, so sweet, and not a diva in any way, and so talented. Just a gorgeous woman and a gorgeous voice. So I hope that gives you a little bit of a better answer, Mr. Peter Cullen. On to the next. I also chose, let's see, Thierry HVB. Thierry, Thierry HVB on Twitter. He asked, do you see yourself as Norma in 5 to 10 years? And do you like this repertoire? Well, I would love to sing Norma in 5 to 10 years. I may be singing Norma much sooner than that. I haven't touched her yet because she is very difficult. And you really have to have your technique very, very solid to work with the bel canto ladies. And as most of you know, I started off as a coloratura. I didn't get into the bigger repertoire until 2010, after I sang Maria di Rohan at Caramore. That's when I really changed, and I started getting into the bigger Verdi and the bigger bel canto and the Puccini. So right now, while I feel my technique serves me very well and I love what my teacher and I have done, I feel like I still have some work to do, and I feel like I have some things to learn before I touch Norma. I really feel like that is a role that requires a command of technique. I admire the women who sing her now. I think that it is spectacular what they can do, and I can't wait to be able to sing it myself. As far as the rest of your question, do I like that repertoire? I love the bel canto repertoire. If a house would let me sing Lucia, I would love to sing Lucia. I never got to sing Lucia when I was a coloratura, and now it's cast with very light voices and, more coloratura, and that's great, and, it always comes off super well on stage. But if there was a house out there that would like a bigger voice Lucia, I would love to sing it. I love Anna Bolena, Maria Stuarda, Roberto De Verro. I hope that sometime in the near future, in the next 5 to 10 years, as you say, I get to do those. Okay, on to the next. I love this question. The Spoleto Festival, which you guys can follow at, let me check, you can follow just at Spoleto Festival on Twitter. They asked, do I have any pre-performance rituals? And I think I answered, I have many. And I do, I have many pre-performance rituals. I get lots of rest. I like to sleep 10 to 12 hours before a show. I get a good workout in, 45 minutes to an hour of cardio at the very minimum. Elliptical, spinning, running, walking, anything like that, and a really good stretch, a really good yoga stretch. Get the hamstrings loose, get the back nice and loose, the neck, all of that. That's main priority in the afternoon around 3 or 4. I also have food rituals. I love eggs, over easy eggs. I don't know why, but they really are the best thing for my throat. They make me feel so happy. It's almost like they coat your throat somehow. I eat a lot of protein, chicken, turkey bacon, eggs, kashi cereal, yogurt, things like that. Another silly ritual that I was just explaining to the lady who was doing my makeup here at the Spoleto Festival is that when I am in the makeup chair, I always have an Activia and a banana. I don't know where I started this, but every time I do a show and I'm sitting in the makeup chair, Activia and banana. Activia settles my stomach. We all get the pre-performance jitters. Activia settles my stomach down and makes me somehow feel calmer. I don't know how food does that, but it does. And a banana keeps your potassium levels up so that you have a lot of energy to get through the whole night. I also like to do like 15 to 20 minutes of yoga before the show starts. I just like to loosen the back up again and really get my breath flowing and get myself grounded. I know the wig and makeup people don't like when I do that because I tend to pull wigs off of my head or need things repinned or something like that. But it makes me feel so much better. And then of course I have my warm-up. Gotta have, 15 to 20 minutes of good, solid, calm vocalizing. And then 10 minutes to really focus and think through my text, think through any problem areas that I really want to, make sure I get right. And then it's go time. And I always have with me backstage my tea. I make a tea with cinnamon sticks and star anise and honey. So I always have that to keep everything nice and warm and relaxed. Coke Zero, I know, don't be mad at you guys, but I love Coke Zero. Somehow it just keeps the vocal cords nice and clean. It's a bad habit I've picked up, I know, but I love Coke Zero. And then after performance, steak. A burger or a steak and a beer. I will need protein and relax time. Lots of rest, lots of sleep. So thank you, Spoleto Festival, for that great question. And the last question that I chose came from Absolument on Twitter. ABSOLUTMENT. Absolument, as we say in French, right? Even though I don't speak French. She asked a fantastic question. She asked if I have any advice for young singers. And if I did, what would it be? I have lots of advice for young singers. But a couple of the main things. Be yourself. And I think I wrote this to you on Twitter too. Be yourself and be proud of who you are. So many people tell us in the business that we can't be who we are, or we need to change who we are, or we need to, focus on being something different. Just be yourself. That's the most important thing in our business.